buddy of mine was in town, works at OCTA, a big company up in the Bay Area, and I was asking him a lot about setup for, hitting goals, goal setting. How do they set goals? How do they meet their goals? How do they pay their employees? How do they bonus people? Do they commission people? What are their salary ratios to OTE? Is it mostly commission, or is it mostly salary, or 50-50 or whatever? All that. And one of the things we ended up talking a lot about were stretch goals, which is the market goal, which is what you need to hit, and then the stretch goal, which is in order to meet our massive growth goals, we need to have be hitting our stretch goals. And apparently the company only goes after their stretch goals. That's all they focus on. And they have bonus systems set up. They can be done weekly or monthly or daily, and people can get bonused out with things based on these stretch goals. So managers are incentivized to help people hit their goals, and SDRs are incentivized to try and hit the stretch goals too. So I started out asking how they set goals, and he said there's a company-wide goal for sales and growth that's achieved, and everyone benefits from it, which I thought was a really cool idea. So it's not the idea that as a buyer in my agency, or as a salesperson, or as a strategist or email specialist, that person wouldn't just have their own personal goals. It's company-wide goals too. So if the company hits the company's goals, everyone gets a bonus. That's pretty cool. That bonus is paid out as a 5% rate above whatever the goals are. So if they get in excess of their stretch goal, or they hit the stretch goal, everyone in the company would split a 5% payout. That's just the number that they picked or they used. We don't necessarily have to do that. I just think it's cool to have a percentage. Like if we hit our growth goals or hit our stretch goal, the whole company will split a big sales number. A lot of camaraderie there, picking people up that aren't performing well that quarter or whatever. Very cool. So that's the above and beyond goal. If you go way above, the company splits 5%. But there's also hitting the stretch goal that matters. Managers and senior managers and directors are paid out on hitting the stretch goal. None of the SDRs or true employees that are paid with this company are bonused out on stretch goals. They get what's called spiffs, which are weekly goals. They're short-term that lead to strength goals. These goals are set by managers and directors to help keep people incentivized throughout the process. Sometimes they're, like I said, daily goals. Sometimes it's weekly. Sometimes it's quarterly. It might be a really nice pullover jacket. It might be $1,000 cash. But the budgeted amount for these spiffs that the managers get to decide how to divvy them out is budgeted at $250 per person per quarter. So if a manager decided to have one payout for the whole quarter at $250 per person, and it all went to the top 5 people, they could do that. Or they could take that $250 per person and they could have it be set for every week throughout the quarter. But remember, not everybody is going to hit those goals. So it's an incentive because you could continually win over and over. It might just be 8 people of the 50 that continually hit the goals and get those spiffs. But it doesn't mean the other people won't be incentivized. And it is extra incentivizing for somebody who wins to continue to try and win and get more and more cash, or more and more concert tickets, or whatever the bonus is that the manager decides to have it be. They're just for fun. Fun incentives that everyone gets. That's something that can be a part of the culture of the company. I really like that. We talked about the bonuses, how they're paid out, how it relates to OTE, what percentages. Salary represents 60% of their pay, and the remaining 40% is all commission, or in this case, bonuses. They don't do commission, it's specific bonuses. You either get the bonus for hitting your stretch goals or your numbers, or you don't. So this guy's a sales manager, and specifically the people he's working with are SDRs, and if these people want to get their bonus, it's represented in 50% of 2 ways. It's either setting meetings and then closed opportunities. And it represents, each of those 2 things represent 50% of their bonus. So in their specific goals, they have to set 12 meetings and there have to be 7 opportunities closed from those 7 meetings. So if they close 7 deals, but they only get 10 meetings, they don't get their full bonus because they didn't hit both sides of the opportunities. So that was really interesting too, because we have to try and figure out how we're going to get bonuses set up for our buyers, and there could be different elements to the bonus, like, hey, you got the 7 meetings, but so you're going to get 50% of your bonus, but you didn't hit 12 meetings, so you don't get that bonus. which is pretty cool. If we could figure out different categories or different elements to buying traffic to incentivize buyers so that we can pay a bonus, and if they don't get something done, like they don't raise spend 2% or they don't improve ROAS 1%, they didn't get their bonus. But that's only one element of their bonus. So then we can check and see if they did it. I like it a lot. The reason that the bonuses and meeting closings are scheduled that way is all based on the manager's goal. They have to hit, let's say, $50 million in new business developed, and they have, I don't know, 100 SDRs with under them. Each of them have to bring in, 7 meetings a week to a month to close 20% of those. That's the math that they're doing. So they close from opportunity phone calls or meetings initially to closed opportunities is at 58%. So that's 12 opened opportunities to 7 closed opportunities. And then of those 7, they close 20%. So that's the math where they get to the point where they're at 12 meetings to close 7 opportunities and get 2 deals done. That's what's going to get the manager to his stretch goal. And it's all starts and it's all reverse engineered, right? They look at the goal they want to be at, all the way down to how many meetings they have to get, which is really cool. And we've talked about in a previous video that we need to figure out all that kind of stuff for us as well. Another thing that was really cool was something that an accelerator, if somebody does over 100% of goal, so over 100% of their stretch goal, then they go into accelerators where they're bonused out and paid even more money on top of the opportunity to get the 5% with the company. Because if they go above and beyond, but the company doesn't hit the number and they don't get the 5% bonus, they still get more money. So it continues to incentivize these people to not stop working, right? There's very structured onboarding practices for these people. They call them ramp months. So for us on our 3-year goal, we need to be closing way more business in year 3 than we are in year 1. So if we wanted to grow, and our growth plan equal across all months was $250 to $1,000 every month in new business, maybe it's totally unachievable right now, but it should be $300,000 a month 2 years from now. So we're in a ramp period, and if we're onboarding a new account, there's a ramp period because you're not going to get any new business. Like if you onboarded a company 30 days ago, the chances of them saying, yeah, take my email on are probably pretty slim as well, until maybe you've had them for 3 months. Then they understand how you work, they like how we work, and they say, yeah, we want you to take our email on. So there's ramp months too, something to keep in mind. The way they structure that, specific for their meetings, and I think we can do a lot of this for media buying and sales as well, because there's ramp months. You have to get your arms around the account, and you have to wait for the data to roll in before you can really make heavy optimization changes, right? You can't just delete all the campaigns and all the data. You have to slowly take them over. So there could be ramp months. There's no minimums the first month, but they have to set 2 meetings as opposed to 12. That's great. The second month, they have to set 6 meetings and have 3 deals close. So those are like half of the minimums. And then the third month, they have to set 12 meetings and 5 of them need to turn into opportunities. So it's still below. So they have 4 on the 4th month, everything's set up. And by closed deals here, I mean sales accepted opportunities. That means that from the initial meeting, those 7 turn into SAOs, or sales accepted opportunities, meaning, okay, yes, they are really interested in buying this stuff, and we will consider them a real opportunity and count them towards the potentially closed deals. We were just kind of rapping about what he thinks creates loyalty in employees, and his answer was the equity, being, making money from the success of the whole company. But he also thought good leadership, having people that employees can look up to and aspire to, and having great vision for themselves at the company was the other thing that made them really loyal to a company. And those are things I'm interested in because I want to have that top of mind as we bring people in. The last thing that they do is all hands meetings every Friday. The founders meet with the entire company every Friday, and they say new testimonials they're pushing, new product releases, things that the salespeople might want to know for something that they can sell, they can use to sell, new flows that are working, anything that's changed in the company, good news. I think that's a really fun thing to do with the whole company, and I probably would do something like that as well because it seems really fun. Great way to connect all the people in the company and have everyone understand that they're part of something that's really big, really succeeding, and looks really good for their career. That was it for my buddy I met with that works at OCTA. It was a very fun conversation, really successful company, and they're doing a lot of things right. So we're trying to emulate as much of that as we can. Thanks for watching this video. My name's Bobby Dietz, and we'll see you in the next one.